Lagos, the city of dreams, wealth, and hustle. Adeolu Adebayo, a self-made millionaire in his mid-30s, was at the pinnacle of success. His real estate empire spanned across Nigeria, his suits were always designer, and his fleet of luxury cars turned heads everywhere he went. Yet, Adeolu had a reputation for being aloof and cold, prioritizing wealth over relationships. One rainy evening, Adeolu's flashy lifestyle caught up with him. After leaving an extravagant party, his sports car skidded on the wet roads. The crash was catastrophic. By the time paramedics arrived, Adeolu was unresponsive. He was rushed to St. Luke's Hospital, where doctors placed him in an induced coma. News of his accident spread like wildfire, but surprisingly, no family or close friends rushed to his side. Instead, his hospital room saw visitors with agendas, business partners seeking clarity on deals, and distant relatives eyeing his fortune. 6 months passed, and the world moved on. Adeolu's businesses were in limbo, his bank accounts were frozen due to legal disputes, and the court seized his properties temporarily. The once famous millionaire seemed forgotten. The hospital bills were piling up, but one person ensured he stayed in care: Adeolu, a cleaner at St. Luke's. Adeolu was a widow in her 40s, raising 2 children. Despite her limited resources, she had a kind heart. She had no personal connection to Adeolu but felt deep compassion for him. Every night after her shift, she'd sit by his bedside, whispering prayers and reading aloud from her Bible. Her colleagues often mocked her. "Oh, Adeolu, is it your duty to care for Oga Millionaire?" one nurse teased. But Adeolu would smile and reply, "Everyone deserves kindness, rich or poor." One fateful morning, Adeolu's eyes fluttered open. His vision was blurry, and his body felt heavy. Machines beeped rhythmically around him. He struggled to speak, his voice hoarse. "Doctor. He's awake," a nurse exclaimed. Within moments, the room was abuzz with activity. Adeolu's first clear words were, "Where am I?" Dr. Oak, his attending physician, approached. "Mr. Adebayo, welcome back. You've been in a coma for 6 months. Take it easy, your recovery will take time." As days passed, Adeolu regained strength. He began asking questions: who had visited? What had happened to his businesses? But the answers were disheartening. His brother Connor, who was managing his estate, had sold off assets and disappeared. His business partners had moved on. And his glamorous friends? Nowhere to be found. One evening, Adeolu noticed a woman arranging flowers by his bedside. She looked familiar but out of place. "Who are you?" he asked. Startled, Adeolu turned to him. I'm Adeolu. I work here." "Why are you here?" he pressed. She hesitated before replying, "Because no one else was." Adeolu's brow furrowed. "What do you mean?" Adeolu explained how she'd prayed for him, advocated to keep him in care when hospital management considered transferring him, and even spent her meager salary to buy him toiletries. For the first time in years, Adeolu felt a pang of gratitude and guilt. As Adeolu's health improved, he began observing Adeolu closely. She exuded a quiet dignity, balancing her demanding job with raising her children. Despite her struggles, she was cheerful and generous. One day, he asked, "Adeolu, why would you do so much for someone like me?" She smiled warmly. "Because wealth doesn't define worth. You needed someone, and I was here." Touched, Adeolu decided to repay her kindness. He secretly instructed his lawyer to set up a trust fund for her children's education and ensured her rent was paid for a year. While Adeolu focused on recovery, his brother Connor resurfaced, feigning concern. "Oh, Adeolu, my brother. Thank God you're alive. I've been so worried." But Adeolu's sharp mind saw through Connor's facade. "Worried? Is that why you sold my properties?" Connor stammered, "It was to cover your expenses. You know how hard things were." Adeolu's tone turned icy. "Leave. Now." Meanwhile, Connor is meeting with Adeolu's lawyer. "Let's finalize those transfers before he starts remembering too much," Connor says, smirking. Unbeknownst to him, Adeolu is listening from behind the door. He steps in, furious. "Connor. My brother. You wanted to sell my company while I was unconscious." Connor stammers. "Oh, it's not like that, brother. I was safeguarding your wealth." Adeolu, filled with disappointment, orders Connor out of his house. Months later, Adeolu was discharged. Instead of returning to his opulent mansion, he chose to rent a modest apartment. He began rebuilding his empire but with a new perspective. He funded community projects, established scholarships, and started a foundation to assist accident victims. As for Adeolu offered her a managerial role at his foundation, ensuring she could provide for her family without overworking herself. At first, she hesitated. "Sir, I'm just a cleaner. I'm not qualified for this." Adeolu smiled. "You're the most qualified person I know. You taught me what it means to truly care." At a press conference, Adeolu speaks to a crowd. Life isn't about what you own but about who stands by you when you have nothing. "I learned this the hard way, and I hope to give others the chance I was given." Adeolu's journey from a self-absorbed millionaire to a compassionate philanthropist teaches a profound lesson. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification button. Don't forget to comment and let me know your thoughts.